Our ancient word this morning is from the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verses 46 through 54. Then he came again to Cana in Galilee, where he had changed the water into wine. Now there was a royal official whose son lay ill in Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus had come from Judea to Galilee, he went and begged him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. When Jesus said to him, "Unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe," the official said to him, "Sir, come down before my little boy dies." Jesus said to him, "Go, your son will live." The man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him and started on his way. As he was going down, his slaves met him and told him that his child was alive. So he asked them the hour when he began to recover, and they said to him, "Yesterday at 1 p.m, the fever left him." The father realized that was the hour when Jesus had said to him, "Your son will live." So he himself believed, along with his whole household. Now this was the second sign that Jesus did after coming from Judea to Galilee. Our contemporary word is Blessing for a Whole Heart by Jan Richardson. You think if you could just imagine it, that would be a beginning. That if you could envision what it would look like, that it would be a step toward a whole heart, a heart made whole. This blessing is for when you cannot imagine. This is for when it is difficult to dream of what could lie beyond the fracture, the rupture, the cleaving through which has come a life you do not recognize as your own. When all that inhabits you feels foreign, your heart made strange and beating a broken, unfamiliar cadence, let there come a word of solace, a voice that speaks into the shattering, reminding you that who you are is here, every shard somehow holding the whole of you that you cannot see but is taking shape even now. Piece joining to piece in an ancient, remembered rhythm that bears you not toward restoration, not toward return, as if you could somehow become unchanged, but steadily deeper into the heart of the one who has already dreamed you complete. May the Lord bless to our understanding this reading.
Now. Whenever I get that now word, now, there was a royal official whose son lay ill in Capernaum. Now. Always tells me the story isn't just then, but now too. So here we have a royal official with an invitation to transformation. His son is desperately ill, and he goes to get help. This time is long before health insurance, long before GoFundMe. Probably not even a financial problem here after all. This is a royal official who is used to giving orders, who has slaves. We learned some things about him. It's hard to know exactly who this royal official is, other than that he works in Capernaum, probably in service of Herod Antipas. We don't know whether he was a Gentile or a Jewish person educated in the language and ways of the empire. But we know a lot about this person, this parent whose son is suffering. Pulling from the details of the story, he's desperate. He is sincere. He won't be put off by Jesus' response, "You people won't believe unless you see signs and wonders." The "you" in this sentence in Greek is plural, and it leaves us with one of our first hints that this isn't just a story that's a report, it's a story for all of us. As in our previous story about the Samaritan woman at the well, I think we have a much abbreviated conversation here, as well as the lingering questions, of course. So how did this royal official know about Jesus? How did he hear about his return to Cana? Instagram and Facebook didn't exist yet. Never mind 24-hour news. How did he know that Jesus could help him? Had they met before? Maybe at the wedding at Cana, when Jesus turned the water into wine? Maybe when Jesus and his mother and his brothers and sisters went to Capernaum for many days after that wedding. All those missing TikToks, we're missing part of the story. Now, as with other invitations to transformation that we have encountered, let's remember that this story wasn't told this way for the benefit of that official, but for the audience following Jesus on social media. I mean, that would have been the Johannine community, the community where this gospel was first composed. And by implication, that's us. Still reading these stories 2,000 years later, this story was written in this way to convey a deeper meaning than we can see on the page. In this story, a royal official whose son is close to death hears that Jesus is, well, he's not quite in town, but he's a day's journey away, maybe 20 miles. So this man journeys to Cana and begs Jesus to come and heal his son. At first, Jesus demurs, "You won't believe unless you see signs." But this man persists, saying, "Come before my little boy dies, my paideon." Jesus replies, "Go, your son lives." And the man believes what Jesus says. We've got transformation already, because this royal official is now a man. He's a man, perhaps someone that we resonate with. And his son has become a little boy. So the man does go. He heads back to Capernaum, and he meets his slaves on the road coming to tell him, "Your son lives." The same words Jesus said, "Your son lives." The Greek actually says not will live, but lives. It's very present moment. Clearly, the man had already believed enough to ask for help. But now his belief, his faith, his trust, his understanding deepens. And his whole household believes. Let's imagine ourselves as part of an early community hearing this gospel. We're drawn into this story by our empathy for this father. Yes, at the end of the story, the royal official who became a man is now called a father at the end of the story, whose son came so close to death. And empathy for the son, the little boy so ill with fever. And for the slaves who ventured forward to tell the good news, "Your son lives." So we've learned from this story that Jesus can heal even when he is not physically present. That's good news. We've learned that Jesus can be trusted. What he says is true. And that where Jesus is, there are signs and wonders. In the Gospel of John, the word believe, pistuo in the Greek, is used 96 times. It's a key word in this gospel. Faith, it can mean many things in different contexts: faith, trust, understanding, belief. And this belief comes as a response to Jesus' words, not just by seeing signs. In our own little community today, we wrestle with these words, these ideas, these stories, just as our spiritual ancestors did. Our contemporary scientific minds can't quite imagine these stories happening in our own time. Yet these stories have much to teach us about how to live. We may imagine ourselves as royal officials who have authority to say what should be done, what Jesus should do. But in the end, we are just human beings, just people who face the same threats as everyone else. If not now, who knows when? We are all vulnerable. We all need help. The stories teach us that we too can say, we need healing. The trans poet, prophet, comedian Alok Vaid Menon, do you know him? Just check him out. I should say check them out, because they do use the singular they pronoun. Check them out. But they said recently, see, I struggle with it, don't I? I've realized that there's no space in our culture to say out loud, I don't like me yet. There's no real space to say, I still internalized 23 years of hating myself, and it's going to take my entire life to unlearn. You know, there's no messiness. It's all before and after. And I don't think that's human. I think we are all imprinted by a world that has taught us to be so cruel to ourselves. And so I wanted to actually say out loud, there are parts of me I don't love yet. And I wanted that to just be okay. Because when you just love those parts of ourselves, rather than judging, that's how you change. You can't shame your way out of self-hatred. You can't embarrass yourself that you're not proud enough. The only way is to love yourself and say, yeah, there's broken glass in this foot, because I've been walking on streets that were not my own, and I will spend the rest of my life trying to suture it out of me. But I'd rather we say that I'm working on it than lying and pretending like we did the work when we didn't. Here's where Jan Richardson's blessing comes in. You think if you could just imagine it, if we could just imagine ourselves in whatever story, it would be a step toward a heart made whole. This blessing, Richardson says, is for when you can't imagine. When all that inhabits you feels foreign, your heart made strange, let there come a word of solace, a voice that speaks into the shattering, reminding you that who you are is here, every shard, the whole of you, is taking shape even now in an ancient, remembered rhythm. A rhythm that bears you not toward restoration, not toward return, as if you could somehow become unchanged, but steadily, deeper, into the heart of the one who has already dreamed you complete. These are our invitations to transformation this morning. Transformation into the heart of the one who has already dreamed us complete. Amen.